This is January 20th, 2020, Inauguration Day. And the purpose of this video is to bring to the attention of Andy, the HOA, the mayor of Buckeye, the police chief in Buckeye, the situational awareness of what's taking place here. I've made several videos on the antiquity of the way this golf course is set up presently as compared to the first day it opened. On the first day this golf course opened, about 16, 17 years ago, that tee box being there was completely harmless. The reason it was completely harmless was because there was nothing up here on this bank. Those houses wasn't there, that house wasn't there, that house wasn't there, that house wasn't there. None of these houses were up here. There was no human beings living up here. There was no property to get broken and damaged up here. So having that tee box there was very logical. And the only problem is that it's become a tribal knowledge now for anybody who's learned how to play golf here in Buckeye. The Buckeye people have created their own Buckeye etiquette for this golf course. First of all, you have less than knowledgeable players playing here in Buckeye. Now that tee box from where I'm standing, you see that white marker right there? That white marker says that's playing area all the way. So that cactus is on my property, the white marker is golf course. None of this gets maintained up here. These two trees, they haven't touched them in about 3 years. They don't touch anything up here. They don't maintain anything up here. It's like a no man's land. They used to have probably a dozen more trees up here, but they quit watering them. They shut the water off to them, and every time they lose a tree in a storm, in a monsoon, they don't replace it. And as I said, this isn't maintained as golf course. The golf course is down there on the other side of the cart path, but I'm right now about 45 yards from that tee box. My white stake right there, and I plan to have a seat that I'm going to sit right there and watch all day long. I get foul balls in my yard. To the police department, this is assault. And the police department, the mayor's office, and everybody in government out here seems to think that the cash register of that golf course concession, and it's a concession. This is a golf carnival out here. Okay, the Buckeye Golf Carnival. You can't call it a golf course. A golf course has discipline. A golf course has marshals. A golf course should, from the top management on down, should have a policy of goodwill toward its neighbors. Now, getting back to the antiquity of these tee boxes. "15 years ago, whenever a new golfer from Buckeye came out here with no etiquette knowledge, no skill, no anything about golf, just swinging wildly away, if they hit a ball up here, it was harmless. Why? Because there's nothing up here. And that went on for about 3 years. For about 3 years, everybody in Buckeye played with the knowledge that any time a ball goes on any lot, we can drive onto the lot, get the golf ball, and walk back onto the golf course. All right? That mentality still exists out here. Even though these lots now are not empty lots, they're homes that are vulnerable. They're vulnerable to damage. I'll zoom in on that solar panel out there, up there. If I can get it to settle down. See that little white spot on that panel? That's a golf ball hit it. My gutters, I got a golf ball hit those. Day in and day out, golfers that don't know what they're doing with a golf club, they're missile launchers. It's just like the U.S. government trains people and they half-ass train them to be missile launchers, and then they put them in a missile launching position where they're right next to a residential area. This whole golf course now, the front nine should be reworked. Some golf architects should come in, shorten the course, make it as challenging as it was before, maintain the handicap it was before. But as the golf concession out here, I get a little upset when I see 4 new guys go back to that far tee on a Saturday morning and none of them know what they're doing. You can tell by the way they're teeing up their ball, their practice swings, everything. They're all new guys, okay? And most of them put the first one in the lake. They're lucky to get past the end of the tee. And the reason you know they're new guys, every one of them has to walk back to the cart for a second ball. That's new golf. Now, I have to watch these guys for a foursome. All day long, it's every other foursome hits more than one ball for each golfer. So, all day long, I'm in range of that tee box. Where that hotel is in the afternoon, the southwest wind comes out of there, sometimes over 15 knots. And you got somebody back there who's got a critical slice. He slices everything. He either blocks it or slices it. And he's trying to hit a ball 177 yards over a lake to a back pin. Right? What can happen will happen. What can happen will happen that he opens up the club face, he opens up the hit, he hits the ball from the outside in, and he puts a huge right to left spin on it into the wind. And he crushed it. I mean, he crushed it. This was a gorilla with a lot of club head speed that crushed it. The only problem is that ball's spinning to the right, and the wind is carrying it to the right, and guess what? I got a broken solar panel up there. Then this golfer's got the nerve, because I've seen it. I've been in my kitchen when the ball hits the house. I go and I stand there and I watch the golfer start to walk in my yard. After he's hit my house, he hits the ball, he looks up, he hears a bang, and the next thing I know, he's walking in my house, in my yard. Okay? Get these stakes off my property line. Okay? They don't belong up here. Walk down the whole hole. How many lots do you see to have a white stake on their property line? All right? You got me set up. You're burning a cross in my yard today. You got me nailed to the cross. All right? You know, day in, day out, all day long, I'm going to be dealing with foul balls. But you're getting away with the government, the mayor, the HOA. Everybody says, oh, it was an accident. An accident? You got a gorilla back there that's never played golf before, and he hits 4 balls. And the 4th ball he hits, he takes out one of my windows. Swinging for the fence. As hard as he can swing. Not knowing what he's doing. Never took a lesson. And I'm right here. Now, please, somebody in government recognize the risk that they're putting on me today by putting that tee box back in that corner. By putting that tee box back in that corner, you've just exponentially increased the risk of me getting hit with golf balls all day long. All day long, not only have I got a risk of having damage to my property, if I have guests, I have to tell them to watch the tee box. And now these two trees right here, you see that swing set right here? Let me tell you, take a look at that tee box over there. You see that tee box over there, the long one? I'll zoom in on it. That monster they built after I bought the house. The original tee box back there wasn't that long. The original ones was, the long was about 160, but it was a deficiency. The average high handicapper couldn't reach my lot from there. So they fixed that problem. They raised the tee box about 6 feet from where it was before. Now the average high handicapper or beginner can reach my yard and my windows from there. Okay, now the thing about these two trees right here, these trees haven't been touched by the golf course. I see them trimming trees all over the course. This one, that, and these two haven't been touched in about 3 years. They don't do anything with them. They don't do a thing up here. Nothing. This is no man's land. And when a golfer hits a ball up here, he doesn't play it up here. He picks it up, he takes it down to the grass. Now the hole is down there. The hole's down there, it's not up here. I want to know why I have to have these white stakes here. That's saying it's playing area. You're telling every golfer you can take your GoPro camera and you can go up there and walk his property line anytime you want. Under the entree of looking for your ball. Okay? All you have to do is have the excuse of looking for your ball, and you can take a video camera and you can record everything on his property. Now, the problem, you saw that long tee. Now, I should be able to sit out here. My guests, the children who visit me, should be able to sit out here anytime they want to look at the lake. All right? I shouldn't have the lien on my house where I have to deal with golf balls. You see that tee box right there? Let me zoom in where the tee box is. Okay? Just offline. Are you telling me you don't have the imagination to understand if somebody's back there struggling with their game and they're hitting everything to the right that I don't get balls in my yard? Well, the problem I have is when I sit in this seat and the children are out here sitting with the seat because those trees aren't getting trimmed and they refuse to do anything with the trees here because it's blocking my view, and they're protecting the neighbors over there. That house gets protected by those trees. Okay, so they're not going to touch them. The only problem is that me and my guests who are sitting on my property, these plants are my property. It's property rights. Do I have a right to sit on my property out here 24/7 anytime I want without having to get hit by a foul ball from that tee box right there? You see where the tee box is? Right there. How hard do you think it would be for a young gorilla to put one in my yard? But what I want to get to you right now is that long tee box I just showed you, that plateau that they built. When I'm sitting in this chair right here, I had a conversation with an 8-year-old little girl that visited my niece. I told her, whenever you're out here and anybody comes up to that tee box, stop whatever you're doing, watch them, keep your eye on the ball until they go past. But always be aware of that tee box. Well, while I'm talking to her, behind that tree, there's 4 guys on that tee and I can't see them. And all of a sudden I hear a hit. And I see a splash. You're leaving that tree there and I'm vulnerable. I can't see the hit. I can't see the ball coming. If she's sitting here, she can't see the people pull up and go up onto the tee box. And if somebody hits a big old slice, which happens day in and day out here, she can't see it. If I'm sitting here and I look up, I hear a hit, and I look up and somebody hollers 4, how can we see the ball coming? We can't even look up. How could she be careful to watch every tee shot hit when she's sitting here? And what am I supposed to do? Move this now? Do I have to adjust my lifestyle and move all my seats? Do I have to stay in the house? Every time the golf course register is open, do I have to stay in the house? Do I have to protect my children by pulling them back from here? You're supposed to be golf pros. You're not golf pros, right? You're military minded. This is a strategy. This is a strategy of erudition and harassment fire. If we put that tee box there, we know he's going to get fired on all day long. We're looking for an incident. We're looking for an incident. Let me tell you, I keep this camera on me at all times. While I'm working out here in the yard, I got the camera where I can reach it in a hurry. Okay? The next golfer that comes on and starts calling me an old man and walks onto my property and challenges me to throw him off my property, I'm going to have a camera. Okay? Now, how about fixing this? I'm going to go in and put it on YouTube right now. It's to Andy. It's to the HOA. It's to Craig Hustis and a whole bunch of other government officials. This is wrong. This is malice. This is a strategy of erudition and harassment fire. We're not going to trim the tree in front of his house. He doesn't belong out in his yard. Nobody belongs out in their yards on the first 9 on Sundance when there's play. Period. And when we sell somebody a greens fee, we consider it a patio pass. That's the way they play buckeye. It's been played that way for 16 years. Well, time to change. How about getting a modern, goodwill oriented architect out here whose sole goal is try to win back the goodwill of the people who live on this golf course. I've been here 15 years. I've had about 5,000 or 6,000 golf balls hit into this yard. Foul balls all day. And when I call up Andy on the phone, Andy goes, it was an accident. Andy, I tried to tell him, I go, Andy, you were with him one day when they hit my house. He goes, it was an accident. An accident. That's like going to Ebbets Field in Brooklyn and saying a foul ball is an accident. All right? This is a small course. Get those white stakes back down on the course. Okay? If you're not going to maintain this up here, you're not going to cut those trees. Right now, I'm so vulnerable to getting hit by a golf ball. If anybody's sitting in that swing right there, enjoying the lake, reading a book, whatever, playing on their iPad, they can't see anybody walk up on that tee box. How about giving me a little mask here? How about some social distancing? This is social distancing for golf courses. Get that tee box away from my house. Get it on the other side of the lake. Take both of them on the other side of the lake. Redesign this hole. Make a pedestal on the other side of the lake. 3 steps, just like you did with that big one back there. Take that one and put 3 more just like it going down the other side of that little harbor, and then go out and buy a prefab bridge that's about 50 feet long that you can drop over. And then take your cart path and bring it down to the water, so that anytime anybody wants to get out of their cart and walk in my yard, they got an uphill walk all the way from the lake. You do that for me, you'd help me out, but you're not doing it for me because I don't know why, but you're targeting me. I'm taking this personal. If you're a golf pro and you can't understand that the demographic of the people that play this course day in and day out. They're the worst. Not only are the worst, they're the most ignorant as far as golf etiquette. They'll walk in your yard like in a heartbeat. Won't even think about it. Because we're from Buckeye. All right? We're from Buckeye. There ain't a place in Buckeye we can't walk. Thank you for listening. Please fix this.